Influence here, and today I have X-Transbots Gravedigger, which is their scavenger masterpiece version of the Constructicon. And fun fact, scavenger was Gravedigger was a Constructicon, I believe, in different continuities. So maybe that's why they named it that. But here we are. Again, I like this figure better than Fans Toys figure in robot mode. However, there are a couple things I don't like. I don't like the arms. They're too skinny. Very accurate. This is a very accurate to the robot mode. I do like the proportions. I think the proportions are great. The legs are great. They look less plain to me. I'm not sure why. I'm not going to be comparing this to Fans Toys in this video just because I don't have it in robot mode. I'm going to have to transform and do all that. And I will be doing a different comparison video. But let's just get it going. There are a couple QC issues that I found, of course, unfortunately, but nothing super big. So let's roll.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views, influences, interest on YouTube.
Here we are off the 360, and yeah, he looks good. I like the way he looks. The back, I wish this could fold up differently. This is how it was in the animation model and how I believe it's supposed to be, because there's a peg there that kind of pegs in and keeps it right there. I like it like this because I don't like seeing it from the front. But that sounds wild. But then you got this mess sticking out the back. So yeah, that's my first gripe. However, small but it's not small because I will have this in robot mode, because this is my robot mode. The other QC, or I don't know if QC or just design issue, but these feet, when I'm manipulating it, these are just pegged on to this little peg right here. It's not even really a peg. It just has a space for this peg, and it has a space for that little screw right there, or that little piece that sticks out. It just goes in there, and it just doesn't stay on right. So when you're manipulating, it doesn't matter when you're posing it, it doesn't cause an issue. But when you're messing with it and you're moving it around trying to pose it, does that all the time. I can say this figure feels solid. It feels like maybe a little less than the other two. I will compare the other two with him, so you can get a proper full comparison of the team. So the gun, you can see the gun comes out. He has just a black gun that's painted nice, has like the speckle paint. Does come with this as usual. He can only hold it in his right hand the way you're supposed to hold it. And you got to have the fingers all the way out and then stick this in there. I mean, the fingers will be out anyway, because then it'll look like he's actually playing it. But that goes there, and then you can have the fingers like he's playing it and his thumb around it. And I just lost it. It's not really going in too great. Comes with an extra head. I changed out this head. We'll look at his head up close. I like both heads. I like the sculpt. This one I like better, but it has a lot of QC issues. Like the visor keeps falling off. This keeps falling out while manipulating. You see how easy that was to take out. And this visor is not really stuck on. So I don't know if it's supposed to stay on once this is pushed in, but it doesn't. So when I had this on it, it was constantly falling apart. I put this back on it, this head, but you can see the two heads side by side. Now, I don't know what this is for. It looks like his head, like a different version. But for one, it has the hole here that doesn't, it's the wrong connection. This is what the connection is. It's a peg on the actual head into the body. This is just a hole. I don't know. There's no directions. Usually I try to peruse the directions a little bit, but they had just the transformation directions on video. This thing isn't that hard to transform. We'll get there. Comes with the Devastator gun, which I like. It looks nice, very light, but still. I do like this. I like that they're incorporating pieces into the actual combine mode. Even though this isn't my combine mode, I think that makes for a better robot when you actually have extra parts forming. And the card, of course, with some tech specs on the back. Box. Extra beefy box, but it's because of all the parts that it comes with. But the arms did grow on me. It's just from the side, he just looks super skinny. And again, like I said, that's accurate to the cartoon model. But I do like his proportions, and I like his posability. So let's get him compared with the other guys that are out. So you have Long Haul here. He's definitely bigger. They're both, the other two are actually both bigger, which I'm not mad at. So here they are, and these guys having different sizes, I think would be accurate. I don't think they should all be the same size. Get into articulation. So his head goes down like that, goes all the way up, mainly due to transformation, but still you can use it. Spins 360. It's on a hinge, so there's no side to side. You have this guy with a little bit of butterfly. You can get that about that much. Both sides. You got double jointed elbow, so you get the full thing. You got swivel up here, both sides. This arm goes out about that much. And hands, fingers, I don't know how much I like the way they actually look, but they are articulated well. So bring them in. They have two knuckles. Yeah, two knuckles. And the ball, no, it's a hinge and a knuckle on the thumb. So you have that. Waist, he does have a waist that with this out, technically you can get him, well, you have to move his ab crunch a little. You can get him 360. So that's good. And he has an ab crunch, which is insane. You get full bend on that ab crunch. Got skirts in the front, none in the side. Well, you got side and back skirts, but they don't move. So you can get his leg all the way up. Let me move this up for now. You can get his leg back about that much. So he's kind of doing the hurdles, not fully though. And then to the side, he hits the top. Again, there's that foot I talked about earlier. And again, he doesn't really do the full splits. But I think it's enough. Double jointed knees that get you fully out. I really like how they did the knee too. The knee joint is kind of treads, not real treads, but still, that's a nice touch. Foot, as I was saying earlier, you can bend actually all the way out because of transformation, and then you can move this foot back and up like that. I do like some of the stuff they did if they just would have executed it a little better. And I think that's it. Just the rocker and the up and down motion. Feet are die cast too. There's a lot of die cast in this guy, but not fully die casted, but it does feel good. I think it feels less than the other ones. Like I said, I think this is my least favorite out of the three of X-Transbots, but it's still good. It's still my robot mode, and I think it's closer than Fans Toys, so take that for what it is. Transform this guy. So let's get these arms together. Make sure the thumb, you can have the trigger finger out a little bit. Make sure the thumb is in like that. and then you can move this a little bit, and it can be even a little over because there's like a little space for it. So you move it like this and push it in like that. And there's a little space that thumb kind of moves out a tad bit, which is cool. I know it's something small, but I couldn't figure it out. That's why I'm emphasizing it. Not that I couldn't figure it out. It just, I was like, is that supposed to be like that? I didn't want to get to the end and then it not be right and you can't get it back right. So y'all know what I mean. Then I guess now you can turn these around. I'll figure it out at the end. You can unhook this, no pun intended. Unpeg this. It's really a peg, so you can unpeg it, and you unpeg this. It's a peg here too with this thing. So once you do that, then you can move this down here like this, leave it together. In here, this stuff you can move out, flip this around so it's up. When I got the robot, this wasn't flipped around. This was out in robot mode. It's supposed to be in because it's supposed to be smooth. Then you can move this out here and down, and you can just kind of leave it like this. This you can spin around. Well, we'll get all this together before you spin this around. So then you have it like this. There's two tabs in both sides of here. You can move them out, move this out a little bit, just so you can get this out here like this. Now you want to turn this like this so you can get some clearance. Wait, no, you can turn it like this so you can get more clearance on each side, because what you're about to do. So once you pull this off, then you can move this down here now that you got the room, and then just unfurl this, tabbed in there and there, kind of unfurl, unfurl, unfurl. And then you can spin this around. I move it up just so I can get it around like that. And then you're good. You can leave it like this because you don't want to do anything yet. So again, over here, once you get this together, move that out, and you can move this. Oh, this is supposed to be out right there. Be careful because once you pull it out, it's just this little bar right there. Move that down. Again, be careful. It feels a little bit flimsy. I know. I know, but hear me out. Nah. Then the head here, just move this back, or let me move it back. Move it flat like that, and then you can flip this in here, and it's this space right there that it just stays. Now you got the head in like that. Now you can move this around because it's gonna be here. These, you got to move these down. So this moves down. This is on a slight slider. Trying to show it. It's right there at this pin. Let me get this. It's right there at this pin. It slides very slightly. And when I say slightly, I mean slightly. But when it's slid down a little bit, this won't move. When it's slid up, this will move. I just don't want you to break it. And hopefully you'll see. I don't know if you saw that. It slid up just that little bit, and then it moves freely. It's enough to move this freely, like this part. And you can see that tab there is going to tab in there. I mean, yeah, no, this tab is going to tab in there. I mean, so once you can get that right, and then you can tab this in here like that. Then you can just move these out because that's going to come into play in a minute. I don't think I moved this. Maybe I didn't move. Yeah, I must have got ahead of myself. So let's see. Both sides got to move. So these are back here. Maybe I didn't. I guess I didn't do it. Because then when you move these up, there's two pegs right here. There's a peg that goes into there. You can peg that there, and then peg this here. Because now you got to move these arms in. And you move the arm like this because there's a little cutout space right there that encompasses that little thing. So you move that up and you move it up and in, and then this right here will peg in right there. There's a peg right there. Then you flip this down and this kind of accordions up and pegs in right there. Same thing over on this side. Move this back down. Move this up. Make sure you have the arm right so that little spaces there will encompass that. You got this thing. You move that right there. Should peg in nicely. And then right here, this should peg in nicely right there. Now you move this around like that. And you want to get this where this door peg in on this side, and it's a little cutout piece over here, so you know where you're at, you know where you got it to get it. And what you got to do is move this back and then move this kind of forward. It's on a double hinge in there. Then you can see everything. There's two pegs back here that peg together right there. Peg right here, peg over here. Then you can peg this door in right there. Then this goes down here like this. And you can worry about that in a minute. Now you want to flip these feet over, then you can flip these treads up. If you don't have the leg completely straight, say you got it a little bit like that, and even if you have it together, but it's not completely straight, this won't fit right. You can see it won't go right. So you kind of have to bend it up and bend it forward. And there you go. If you're wondering, then you move this out, move this down, and it's a peg right there. That's how you tell which way you can move it. Move it down if you don't know, you know, if you forget. Move it down. There's that peg right there. Put that into there. Then these can go, spread these apart like that. Then they can go together. There's enough clearance in between. Then you have this right here. I did get them out with my finger. Yeah, there you go. Get both of these out because they're going to peg. These two sides are going to go in right there. Oh, you know why? Because I'm plugging it into the wrong one. So you plug it into under here. That's why it was flawless. So just make sure this is pushed all the way in. And then go up, and then it should line up right there. Go in there, maybe. And there you go. Now, I don't think there's any place to put this. I don't know. Like I said, there's no directions, and I haven't found a good way to store it. I was thinking maybe like this, but it doesn't make it or break it for me. Just noting it. And here they are in vehicle mode compared. This is stock footage, just so you know. You'll probably see it in a couple videos, but I did want to compare the vehicles while I had them both in vehicle mode. I definitely think this is a little closer to being cartoon accurate than this, and this is smaller. X-Transbots is smaller than Fans Toys. You can see smaller all around, and just different designs. And here you go. You got this door here that does open. Does have a seat in there. So you can open it and get maybe somebody, a little figure in there has like molded ladder right there. That's a nice little touch. I don't like the way the treads aren't underneath. It may be accurate to the actual machine. I don't know. It also doesn't spin. I think that's a product of having it go to 3 modes and combine, or 2 modes and combine. I like the pistons. It does have, I don't know if this is plastic or metal, but they're chrome and they do work. They do piston up and down. The piston here, I like that as well. It pistons, piston here, same thing. I do like that. That's a great little touch. Yeah, not much else to offer on this. So if you enjoyed this review, let me know and I'll get up with you in the next one. Thank you again. Peace.
You know, life ain't over. Life ain't over. Life ain't over. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want it.